Curry with 37-8-4, including going 13-13 from the free throw line, and the Warriors will take on the Houston Rockets Sunday in a best-of-7 first-round series and get some rest here as we welcome everybody to Toyota Warriors post-game live with the Hall of Famer Chris Bullen, NBA champion Festus Ezeli. I am Bonte Hill. What a game. Grizzlies come all the way back, but the Warriors make the right plays at the right time. Great shot making by their two stars.
Bonte, the Warriors are not 0-4 in the play-in anymore. We go into the playoffs, baby. Tonight, you got the Warriors. They got a heavy dose of Jimmy Butler and Stephen Curry. The Grizzlies tonight were fighting them off, but Steph and Jimmy were just too much. 75 of the 121 points for the Warriors. They're just trying to fight back against a young Grizzlies team. Desmond Bane was fighting. Ja Morant came back from an injury, was fighting, but it was just too much for the Grizzlies tonight.
Jimmy Butler was amazing all night long. First half, 20 points. Fourth quarter, Steph Curry dominated, made all the big shots. The Warriors went to a lot of isolation plays, but they made all the big plays they need to make. Give Memphis credit. They, like you said, Bonte, they came back from a 20-point deficit, made a great game. These are back-to-back incredible performances by the Warriors. Big-time NBA basketball the last 2 nights here at Chase.
And the Warriors snapped their 3-game home losing streak, and they won't have to play Friday against the loser of Dallas and Sacramento. So now 1-3 in their play-in history. And, of course, they go 28-34 from the free throw line. And Quentin Post, how about him? With 9 big points in the first half, 12 overall. He's standing by with the great KB inside the Chase Center.
Quentin, this is the first time this franchise has won a play-in game. What did you guys talk about in the locker room of the importance of getting it done tonight?
The biggest thing was just 50-50 balls. 2 nights ago versus the Clippers, we let go of a lot of 50-50 balls. So everything was just about winning every single battle, and we definitely did tonight.
Jimmy Butler scored 38 points, the most he scored all season. How does he take over games?
I mean, Jimmy can just get to the paint whenever he wants, and then I guess during the regular season he chooses to kick out, and last few games he's been looking to go for himself a little more, and they're working out.
You had some big moments stepping in for Draymond when he had 5 fouls, 3 threes, 5 rebounds. What were you thinking playing in a game of this magnitude?
Like I said earlier, just those 50-50 balls, hustling, try to get every ball, and then shoot the ball when I'm open.
You guys are the 7th seed. You'll play this weekend. What is the importance of a few days rest?
You know, we wish we would have got a few more, but yeah, it's great to get up our feet and have some time to prepare for the next opponent.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so it was 94-90 going into the fourth quarter as the Grizzlies crawled back from a 20-point deficit, and they started rolling there. Desmond Bane was red hot, but the crunch time tape was very fun as there was a lot of fouls, but Jimmy Butler made some big shots as we pick it up at the 4-minute mark. And Jimmy Butler scored 21 of his 38 in the first half. Really, he's a great isolation player. You see the pull-up jumper over Desmond Bane right there. They give the Warriors a 3-point lead, Mully.
Yeah, nice pull-up there, nice patience by Jimmy Butler. As Quentin Post just said, Jimmy Butler consistently getting into the paint, open up an opportunity there for a nice little drop-off by Draymond and Steph Curry for a corner 3.
Now, Steph had to get that thumb, Spez. He started to cut you off there, re-wrapped there as he got whacked on that thumb. He was in visible pain, but huge back-to-back threes, a flyby right there over Scottie Pippen Jr. to give the Warriors a commanding 6-point lead.
Was that night-night? This is a night-night moment
Not
right
yet.
here?
Not in the play.
Too early. Steph Curry right there was phenomenal, especially down the stretch. This is a different type of game, different pace. Really a lot of ISO towards the end, but Steph's still finding a way to get a shot at the end.
No doubt about that. 37 points for Steph, Mully.
Incredible composure there with the double pump fake and just faking.
Tough foul.
Draymond Green fouls out right here, committing a foul about 48 feet away from the basket. Remember, the Warriors wasted a challenge at the 6-minute mark.
This is a tough foul.
And that was a tough foul on
That's
Brendan
a block.
Podziemski.
What are we talking about?
Hustling on the defensive end. The whistles got a little hectic at the end of the game, wouldn't you say?
Makeup calls always getting you in trouble.
I think, I don't even know if this is getting flustered or what, but you got to call what you see.
Right here, this was a strange foul on Kevon Looney.
Another, you got to call what you see.
I thought it was a jump ball, Fezzi.
What happens if you don't see anything?
If you don't see anything, then hold your whistle.
Was that Heedy gets 2 free throws?
It's not a foul.
I've been telling you guys about these.
I would love to rewind this play right here. The Grizzlies get called for a 5-second violation with 5.4 seconds left on the clock. If we could run it back, I would love to count. Somebody have a stopwatch out there. Still was the sketchiest 5-second violation, but you know what? The Dubs will take it. We'll take the days off, and they'll take on the Rockets Sunday in a first-round series. What a fun basketball game. Again, Jimmy, 38-7-6. Steph with 37-8-4. and they finally get rid of that O in their play-in record to advance to the first round of the playoffs, Fezzi.
Well, you know the reason why they interviewed Quinton Post is during that stretch when Draymond went out the game, Quinton Post held it down. He was rebounding the ball, hit some really big, timely shots for the Warriors when they were struggling to have guys involved in the game. This was really one of those games where you kind of scrap whatever the game plan is. You got to find a way to get a bucket. You got to go get the loose balls. The Warriors did a lot of that going against the bigger Memphis Grizzlies tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned another great performance by the Warriors, and these were back-to-back playoff games. And not by coincidence, Jimmy Butler 20 field goal attempts again. So playoff Jimmy is in full effect now. It's kicked in.
Back-to-back 20 field goal attempts. What did you think about the 5-second violation there, Bully?
I mean, you had so you said it was like 3.5.
What's the time limit?
Look, they change the rules so often in the NBA. Maybe they changed that. I don't know. Like every time I say something, I'm outdated. So I mean, leave me out of it.
You did say you were a
senior citizen. No disrespect to senior citizens, but I may be a little out of whack right now.
I think I counted 3.5 seconds, but listen. We're going to Houston.
Houston, you may have a problem on your hands.
Sometimes you got to do whatever it takes to get your first play-in victory to move on to the 7th seed. Houston, now you have a problem.
No doubt about that, but you mentioned Jimmy Butler's 20 field goal attempts. Let's pick it up there because he really carried the Warriors in that first half and got them off to a great start as they jumped out to a 20-point lead midway through the second quarter. 21 of his 38 in the first half, 12 of 20 from the floor, 12 of 18 for the free throw line. The only knock on his game is he missed 6 free throws. He missed 5 the entire month of April, Fezzi.
Butler, you're greedy.
I'm not greedy. He got
shot
38.
18 free throws. He made 12.
And he came off a game where he played 48 minutes with a thigh bruise. And Bonte, we mentioned, you and I both said, playing big against Jimmy Butler is the way to go. I'm not quite sure playing extra big on him is the way to go. So he knocked down some threes in the first half. Zach Giddey was matched up to him, laying way off of Jimmy. He knocked down a few threes, and then he had him both ways. They started attacking him off the dribble.
I'm just saying, Fez, he would have had a 40-burger. We don't see Jimmy miss that many free throws.
40-burger's coming.
It's coming. Playoff Jimmy was in full effect.
I thought it was phenomenal watching Jimmy, especially when the team was struggling offensively. They just played through Jimmy, put it in his hands, let him get into the paint. He either gets a score, gets a foul, or then they start to find ways to make plays to get Steph open. So I thought Jimmy was huge to this win tonight.
And it's a little different style, Fest, as you mentioned earlier, the isolation where the shot clock gets run down pretty late. But I think Jimmy Butler's got so much confidence in himself that he's either going to draw a foul, get himself a shot, or find a teammate late in that clock. Steph Curry took over in the fourth quarter, was dominant. But Jimmy did a lot of work early and also finding, creating shots for his teammates.
Those 18 free throws were huge for the Warriors. On a night where you're struggling and other guys around the team are struggling, it just feels like each time you get to stop to shoot a free throw, you're also getting a break. Jimmy Butler played 39 minutes tonight. This is what he's doing for the team in the offense right now.
Not only a break, but we mentioned pregame how this Grizzlies team, one of the fastest-paced teams in the league, so those free throws let you set your defense. It's one less time the Memphis Grizzlies are out in transition.
And they were pushing, especially in the third quarter when they outscored the Dubs 36-27. But Jimmy Butler there setting things up, and those open threes he's creating for his teammates that are going to be there in that Houston series, Fezzi.
Well, whenever you have a game in the playoffs, it's going to be choppy. At times, the Houston Rockets just did that last week. So that's something you're going to be able to play off of, having Jimmy Butler when Steph Curry's not on the floor, having Jimmy be the focal point for the Warriors. That's going to be huge as the playoffs go along.
I think these last 2 games have been great preparation for the Houston Rockets. The Clippers played a slower style. This game tonight a little faster style, but both very physical. And we know the Houston Rockets are a very physical defensive team. They're not the best offensive team. And with Dylan Brooks, it's going to be a physical, dynamic matchup.
No doubt. All right, let's pick up the Steph Curry tape because he had that big bandage on his right thumb, heavily taped, and he had to get it retaped in the fourth quarter as he was visibly shaken by that right thumb. And that's something to monitor moving forward here as we get into the Western Conference playoffs. But Steph was masterful, especially in the second half. 6 of 13 from the three-point line. And what do you know? He got to the free throw line 13 times, nailed all the clutch free throws, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 37 points as he prepares for Amen Thompson and Dylan Brooks, Mully.
Yeah, I thought tonight a good balance. Obviously, the 13 free throws helps out big time. And I thought Steph got a few good calls. Pippen was holding him a lot, moving out the basketball, so that loosened things up for him. But I like the balanced attack. We saw him off the dribble. We saw the catch-and-shoot game. We saw him transition a little bit. So total balance, incredible fourth quarter performance by Steph.
I mean, it's just incredible he continues to do this with his hand being the main focal point. Like, we've talked a lot about Steph Curry saying, you know who else is hearing this? The other team. So you're also hitting it. You're trying to be physical with Steph, and he's still finding ways to get it. The ball's a lot in his left hand, trying to get away from that injury, but Steph is still hitting shots at time.
Yeah, and I think, you know, both Steph, Jimmy Butler, and even Draymond, they could use these days off to get some rest and recovery to prepare for the Rockets.
All right, let's check out the matchup between the Rockets. Of course, they met 5 times this season because they had the one extra game in Emirates NBA Cup, which Houston won 94-90. And all these games against Houston were down to the wire. You see the points per game really low for the Golden State Warriors.
Lười lắm.
Thế Long không ăn được cơm.
Xin chào cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng, và hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là cần cẩu. Mọi người, hôm nay vòng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là ô tô. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu làm nha.
Của anh bỏ bao nhiêu ngày làm đấy? Bao nhiêu ngày làm không làm?
Xếp tít. Hôm nào ra đến đây cũng nhắc. Hôm nào ra đến đây cũng nhắc không làm.
Ai là cô không làm?
Xếp tít.
Xếp mới.
Ở cơ sở 2 bọn ta có cái ông bảo vệ còn suốt ngày nhắc bọn ta như là suốt ngày gọi một sếp QC ở đấy ông đấy chỉ thua sếp thôi, không ai cãi được ông đấy đâu.
Đi đến cuối cùng là những cái like.
Đừng nhắc đấy. Nghiện còn ngại. Oai dữ. Mình lấy 2 màu này. 2 màu. Màu vàng.
Lửa ăn đi lên.
Ăn đi được 2 bàn 6 đi.